From old growth forest to a historic stone wall to the beautiful Brandywine Creek and the open meadows. There's so much to see in this video. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, today we're going to hike through an old growth forest. We're going to check out some stone walls that were constructed almost 100 years ago. We're in Brandywine Creek State Park in Wilmington, Delaware, and specifically today we're going to check out the Tulip Tree Woods area. So come along with us. So right away you can see how huge some of these trees are. Just from initially stepping on the trail for a few seconds here. If you are not too familiar with Delaware, it's a relatively flat state. We spend a lot of time in the coastal region and it's very flat in that area. So here in this Brandywine Creek section, close to Wilmington, you are going to find some hills. Looks a little bit more like Pennsylvania. So if you're looking for a little bit more challenging hiking, this is going to be your area. So lots of rocks along this trail, and like I mentioned, the stone wall is just running all the way around where we're hiking right now. Okay, so specifically this section of the park, this Tulip Tree Woods, it is 23.64 acres. So not huge, but this is only one area representing several different parking sections and areas here at the Brandywine Creek State Park. So what is unique about this Tulip Tree Woods is that it's surrounded by this 3-foot-high historic stone wall. Here specifically at the Tulip Tree Woods has been relatively undisturbed for the past 200 years, and that's pretty rare around here, so it's nice to be able to check out an old growth forest. So this state park, Brandywine Creek, is actually made up of 933 acres, and it was a former DuPont estate and a dairy farm before it became a state park in 1965. One thing I want to mention is it is fee season here at Delaware State Parks. That started March 1st, and I believe it runs through the end of November. So if you choose to visit a Delaware State Park, be aware that you're going to pay a small fee. It's less if you're in state, if you're a Delaware resident. If you're out of state, it's a few dollars more. We have the Delaware State Park Pass, which is really a great value. We earned ours for doing the Passport Challenge, which is where you visit a number of state parks, take your picture in front of certain landmarks, and you submit it and you get a free park pass. So it's a lot of fun. Gets you out on the trail, gets you to see new places, and then you get to visit the parks next year for free. All right, so we're following Tulip Tree, so we're gonna go straight. But first I wanna look at this wall a little bit more. Little spoiled being a Pennsylvania gal and having all our state parks free, but I do have to say the small fee you pay to enter the Delaware State Parks, the trails are super nicely maintained, a lot of nature centers, a lot of great amenities for families if you want to come out and enjoy nature. So I would say it's very well worth the small fee to get into these parks. It's interesting, as you move along here, you can see a lot of bricks and things in the ground. So I wonder if there was some building structures here, or if this was paved with bricks at one time. I don't think I've ever done a hike like this before, where I'm hiking in an area and I'm surrounded by historic stone walls. Pretty cool. All right, so now I'm gonna jump on this hidden pond trail here. I wanna check that out. So we'll go this way. Can really see things are starting to green up around here. I can see little buds on things. So in terms of weather, it's a really beautiful mild day here. I think we're gonna reach about 65, so really ideal for mid-March. Super nice. Of course, the weather's a little unpredictable. Like, I believe it was Sunday, we were thinking about going out hiking. We just had a ton of rain, the ground was super saturated, and we ended up changing our minds because we looked out, there was like a snow squall briefly, and the wind was going crazy. And then we looked out again like 15 minutes later, and it was sunny. So you just deal with a little bit of unpredictability in March in Pennsylvania. Be thinking to yourself, hey, where's the family in Hiking Outdoor Family? The family is very busy. It's been insane. If you're a parent, you'll know that like sometimes you feel like September is like the really busy season, getting everybody back to school. But I found that this March, April, May timeframe is just insane. Like everything that they've been working on, like in school, different performances, science competitions. My daughter had the SATs, we had the prom. My daughter got her driver's license. So like it is just so busy. It's the busy time of year for my husband's job. So it's been a lot of just me out on the trail lately. I've had my son out a couple times, but I can assure you we do have some really fun things planned. My daughter and I have a getaway planned for April, so some really cool stuff where you'll see more of the family out on trail once everybody gets through this kind of crazy busy season. So nothing too crazy, but a little bit of rocks along this trail. Right, so we're still on the Hidden Pond Trail, but I wanted to show you this really quickly. Neat little stone wall, or maybe a former foundation or something back here. Pretty cool looking. Still on this Hidden Pond Trail now. Some really creaky trees in the wind. But sometimes I feel like if I only have a little bit amount of time, I'm like, oh, is it even worth it to go out for a hike? Like I won't be able to do many miles. But then whenever I come out, even if I just have a little bit of time and we do a short hike, or like, you know, I get the kids out for just a little hike, maybe even one that I don't even film, we all just feel so much better. And it always is worth it, I think. So even if you're pressed for time, get out there, do a mile and a half. Just enjoy the nice weather, do what you can with the time that you have, and I think you'll find that it's worth it. All right, so the trail has definitely improved. I think the theme of my spring hiking videos is mud and more mud. It's just the kind of thing you get this time of year. It's just so quiet and so peaceful here. I just can't get over it. There's just so many bird calls in the trees, just the sound of the wind. You've got the creek here, absolutely beautiful. Very good trails if you're looking for solitude. You can see how windy it is with my hair, but if you're looking for a nice quiet hiking experience. Now I am here on a weekday. I don't know if it would be different on a weekend, but really great trail for peace and quiet. And like I was saying earlier, you can see there's a hill up there. So Delaware, this section here where Brandywine Creek State Park is, does have some rolling hills. You will get a little bit of elevation, some rocks on your trails compared to the rest of the state. Pretty crazy. Look at that. gosh, I just love these creek views. It's so beautiful. Look at this tree here, how it's going out so far over the water. It's almost tilted sideways, but it's still in the bank. Let's look a little closer. Yeah, so it still appears to be alive, but it's practically sideways like a bridge across the creek. Crazy. This section near the creek is probably my favorite part of the whole hike so far. Like, the stone wall was really cool, the old growth trees were neat, but being near the creek is just so beautiful. The water is so sparkly on the sunny day. So if you remember, we started on the Tulip Trail, then we went to the Hidden Pond Trail, and now we're just doing the loop of the Hidden Pond Trail to take us back up to where we started. So I believe over here, if you took that bridge, that would take you to a different section of Brandywine Creek State Park with some additional parking. And if you look on our channel page, we've got a video from that from last time we were here. But you can start to hear the road noise because there is a road up there. So this side isn't quite as peaceful. I always find it amazing how nature finds a way. Like, here we've got this shelf of rock, and yet we've got a pretty nice sized tree that is just adapted and grown around it. Like I said, there's just a lot of really cool rocks here. It's a really rocky area, pretty neat. It's warmed up enough that I was able to ditch my jacket, which is a true sign of spring here. Like I said, it's a really nice day, and this portion of the trail is uphill, so I started to heat up. So it's always good to have those layers. Alrighty, so we are back to the old stone wall. We're back to the nature center where we started the trail. And I'm gonna stop at one more spot in the state park and show you the hawk watch area. Just beautiful open views, so hang on for that. So this is that hawk watch area. You've got this beautiful open field. It's fairly windy, but I don't see any hawks in the sky. The sky is pretty clear right now, but it's nevertheless still a beautiful area. There's some signage telling you about the different types of birds you could possibly see here. This is such a gorgeous area. So like, you've got that old growth forest you can hike through. You've got the beautiful Brandywine Creek, great fishing opportunities. And then you've got these wide open meadows, the stone walls, just beautiful fields and things to look out at. It's really a cool park with a lot of variety depending on which section you visit.